Yo, how's it going everyone? It's Concealed, and in today's video I have a pretty cool way of showing you how to make a mock-up Path of the Nomad build. Now, for those of you that don't know what Path of the Nomad is, it was a gear set in the first division, which made it so every 4 minutes, if you were fatally hurt, then the gear set would provide you a free life, basically giving you a full set of armor and health. So in the Division 2, everyone knows that time to kill is very fast, whether it's coming from an NPC damaging you or another player. So the ability to have another life while you're fighting will definitely help a lot. So the Path of the Nomad was able to proc once every 4 minutes, but this new method, it's basically a miniature Nomad, and it can proc once every 1 minute. So when done correctly, you will have a free life with only a 1 minute cooldown until you can get another free life. So here's just a quick clip of me showing you what I've been explaining this whole time. So when your armor gets depleted, then you are granted a huge chunk of armor. So if we take a look at our agent's armor, as you can see, as it gets depleted, then I get a huge chunk of armor granted to me. So as you can imagine, this also works in a PvP setting as well. So right here, as I'm face tanking two other online players, as they deplete my armor, I am then granted a proportion of my armor back. Now as we take a look in slow motion of my armor, as you can see, they deplete it and I am granted a full chunk of armor right back. So this necessarily isn't a build video, but more so of me showing you two things you need to do in order to have this mock-up Nomad build. And the reason I like this is because it's very flexible with build diversity. You can definitely go towards different builds if you would like. You go towards more of a damage build or a skill power build, and you can still have this Nomad like proc. But if we get right into it, the first thing you're going to need to do is make sure you have the talent Unbreakable, and this is only a talent you can get on your chest piece. So if we go ahead and read what it does, 25% of max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. Armor kits used within the next 5 seconds are not consumed. Now 25% of your armor is going to be 1/4 of your max armor. So you need to make sure that you are investing heavily into armor on your backpack, your vest, and on your knee pads, and wherever else you can get it. There is a talent called Harden, which gives you 10% extra armor that you can throw on your gear as well. So definitely make sure to invest in as much armor as you can, because it will contribute in the amount of armor you get back when it actually becomes depleted from getting damaged. So now that we have that part out of the way, the next important step is to look at your backpack and make sure you have Safeguard. So killing a target grants a 150% bonus to repairing and healing effects for 20 seconds. I'm pretty sure a majority of the player base realizes how strong Safeguard actually is. I would say it's probably the #1 talent to have on a backpack and is essential for getting that Nomad-like proc with this type of build. So if we take a look at how much armor I end up getting back with only Unbreakable, you can see it just gives me that 25% armor. Now that's okay, but we can definitely get way more. Now if we take a look at what happens when I have Safeguard also procced with Unbreakable, you will see the amount of armor I get back from being damaged is much higher than what it is by Unbreakable being by itself. So as you can see, the amount of armor I got with Safeguard procced was much higher than what it was with Unbreakable by itself. Now I want to get it out there that this isn't a fully god roll build that I'm using. I was just throwing together a bunch of parts, and this is what I was able to come up with within 30 minutes of testing. So I couldn't imagine the amount of healing a player would be able to get with god roll pieces put together and a little more thought put into the build. I'm really curious to see how the Division community ends up making this build into different other builds and to see how it's utilized. Now this type of build will definitely have its advantages in both PvE and PvP aspects of the game. For PvE, those solo players that like to have those extra lives, they will definitely be helped out a lot when fighting NPCs, and for PvP players that like to face tank a lot, they will end up winning more face tanks when they have their Unbreakable perk ready to proc. So that pretty much sums up the video. I wanted to get this information out to you guys because I know there are a bunch of meta builds where people are just overlooking talents and not really looking at the different possibilities they can use them in. So I'm definitely curious to know what you think about this. Let me know in the comment section down below any ways you think this can improve the current meta situation, any ways you can improve this build, or if you think it's going to be viable at all in the current state of the game. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell notification so you get to know whenever I post a new video. With that being said, this was Concealed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.